Yeah, hi Ramana.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Ramana, could you make it a more bright on your side?
I'll just switch on a light.
Yeah, just put on the light so that everybody can view you.
Is this better?
Yeah, much better. Uh, I hope everybody is able to view both of us. If somebody is not able to have a proper view, please post it on the chat window. Both of us. If somebody is not able to have a So we still have 3 minutes of time. So we'll wait for another 3 minutes before we start, Ramana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I would request everybody to start posting their questions in the chat window. So that we can take them one by one. And we have a list of questions beforehand. Yeah, hello everybody. Just before we start, I just want to tell you all that we have posted a link of our blog, which consists of a comparison between the study guides that are present in the market for BITSAT preparation. You all can have a look at it and make your own decision while buying a study guide for your BITSAT 2019 preparation. So yeah, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Anshu Singh, and I did my BTech in Chemical Engineering from IIT Kanpur in the year 1999. I have been teaching for all engineering entrance examinations for the past 15 years, and I am currently associated with DoPrep. So I have along with me Sriram Ramana, who is currently studying in BITS Pilani Hyderabad campus. And he's here to answer all your queries regarding your BITSAT 2019 preparation. very big thank you to Ramana for joining us this afternoon. Thanks, Ramana.
Yeah.
So now that most of you must have written your JEE main examinations and have started thinking about how to go ahead with the preparation of BITSAT examination, this webinar is aimed at answering all your queries regarding the preparation that you need to undertake for BITSAT 2019. So you all can start posting your questions in the chat window, and Ramana will be taking those questions one by one. And wherever necessary, I will be putting in between if Ramana may permit me to do so. So Ramana, I hand it over to you now, so you can go ahead and start answering the question.
Yeah. So hello, thank you, and hi guys, welcome to the webinar. I think sir has already given an introduction. My name is Ramana, and I'm currently pursuing MSc Economics in BITSian Hyderabad campus. So let's not waste a lot of time about myself, and we'll start jumping into your questions. So the first question is from where and how to study for maths. So math regarding with regards to BITSAT. So the main thing that you have to understand is BITSAT has a very standard set of models which are covered in the examinations, and they're repetitive in terms of the questions and the models. Only the numericals change. So, and this is more so in the case of mathematics, because there are a very few standard set of problems that the mathematics BITSAT has, and they keep repeating. So actually, answering another question before I continue this is that is NCRT enough for BITSAT is a very good question, and I think it is more than enough for scoring really well in the examination. So because NCRT I felt was good for all the three subjects. With regards to math, what I did was I used to solve RD Sharma problems behind the book by RD Sharma, which is based on NCRT. So that book covers a lot of models, which is why you see you'll get a grasp of all the various kind of models that are there for mathematics. And once you know all the models, it's only about speed and repetitiveness that helps you. Right. So I think that should answer your question. So just not just RD Sharma, for that matter, take any of your coaching material. Just make sure that you cover all the models that are available. Like if you take a chapter, let's say lines, slope of lines, whatever, straight lines, the chapter straight lines, you should be able to cover all the kinds of questions which there is a possibility of asking. And now that all of you have written JEE main, you should by now know what kind of questions are asked in competitive examinations. They try to test with the knowledge that with the knowledge that the question gives to you. They try to test if you're able to crack the answer using the formula or using the concept. So that way you should know which kind of questions that they can ask for math, and just make sure that you cover all the models once, because it is mostly going to be the same models that are going to come for BITSAT. And unlike JEE main, there's not going to be something very new that you have to think of. So for mathematics, I'd say it's mostly covering the models, different kind of models that are there in each chapter. So how to
Yeah,
increase?
Ramana, sorry for interrupting you. Your voice is not clear and loud enough. So, do you have a microphone or something like that in which you can speak?
Yeah, just give me a minute. I'll try to connect.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll take up this question again. I hope it will solve the problem. Yeah. And Ramana, one of our listeners is saying you to just speak a little bit slowly so that they can clearly understand what you are saying. Okay.
Yeah, hello. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better, very better, Ramana. And whatever answers that you are giving, Ramana, just keep the pace a little bit slow.
Yeah.
Keep the pace a little bit slow so that the people can grasp the words that you are saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope you can take up that question again, which was posted at the very beginning. Okay, and
Yes.
be a little bit slow because people are on the net and they will be having different kinds of connections everywhere. Okay.
Yeah. So I think I'll be
going a little slow. I'm not in a hurry, bro. It's nothing with that. Uh,
Okay, that's
so
okay.
speaking of the first question was about mathematics, right? So speaking of mathematics, what I was telling is there are different kinds of models that you'll be having to cover, right? So BITSAT is an examination which tests mostly on your speed and the way you're able to manage your time in implementing the knowledge that you have, the existing knowledge that you have. So it is very critical to cover it's very important to cover various types of models in each of the subjects, and this applies more so to mathematics because there can be some theory questions in physics and chemistry, but when it comes to mathematics, BITSAT is mainly about the different types of models that you're able to cover. So this is the pre-knowledge that is required before you take the test, because in the test it's all about time management. Right. So for this reason, I used RD Sharma, like answering another question that is NCRT sufficient for BITSAT. I'd say yes. That is like the book that you'll have to use for both JE mains and BITSAT. That's more than enough. Except you'll have to use your own knowledge when it comes to JE mains, because they'll be asking you new concepts, new models. Whereas when it comes to BITSAT, it is just existing models which will be repetitively asked. There are rarely questions which are something new, which you have not already solved if you've done ample problems in each of the topics. So my suggestion is, you can take RD Sharma or any other book from your that you've used for your competitive preparation, whether be it for JE main or your coaching material. This way, just make sure that for each of the topics, okay, let us just say if it's geometry or the ellipses, or if you're talking about hyperbola. So both of these, make sure that you solve models which from each of these chapter, all the different models, so that you set the algorithm in your mind, right? So once you get the algorithm, it's only about improving the speed. So this is the base that is required for solving mathematics. And I did it from Adi Sharma because I found it a good book and I was solving the various models there. And yeah, I think that should answer the question. So just make sure from each of the topic, pick pick all the models of questions that can be asked. This will be These are the kind of questions which are there in your standard guides for the mains, or all your competitive exam books or your coaching center books. And make sure you know all the algorithms well. Like if you get this problem, if this is the data given, then how do I apply it in this formula to get the answer? So with regards to BITSAT mathematics, it's all about getting the logic right. And yeah, like, so this is the answer that I said. We'll also cover that NCRTS is enough for giving your BITSAT examination. How to increase your speed and manage pressure during an examination. So I think this is one of the mistakes that I made in JE mains, that I took a lot of pressure because it was one of the first competitive exam I was giving, and probably define my life or whatever parents and or the family tells us. So because of that, I feel I was not able to do well in that pressure situation, right? So that's a very good question regarding how to manage pressure during an examination, and the best answer I'd give you is just keep your calm. See, because first, to increase the speed, try writing a lot of mock tests. So I did this using the DoPrep series. I mean, as is obvious because I'm giving this webinar. But how they help is, you'll know how much time to spend on each question. You'll know how to shuffle between each of the subjects, how to move from one of the questions to the other. Out of 40, if I have 40 questions in physics, how many should I do, and like how many can I consider will be hard, and then move on to the other subjects. So this way, mock test will tell you how the exam pattern is, and that way you can also increase your speed, right? Like I said, with regards to mathematics or whatever it is, there are basic models which are repetitive when it comes to BITSAT. So because it's repetitive, the speed parts becomes easier because you don't have to do some new thinking. Once you know all of these models, all the algorithms that are there that go into making a problem for BITSAT, you can increase your speed by just practicing different models. Let's say you have a problem which asks you for the slope of line from given two lines, given a line, it asks you for the slope. So it's all about how you increase the speed on the same model. Will you do y is equals to mx plus c, the entire equation, and then find it out as the coefficient of x, or will you easily do minus a by b, or whatever the whatever the coefficients of x, so directly from the straight line equation. So this way, once you know what you're supposed to find and how you go about it, just try to optimize the solution and try to increase your speed by repetitively practicing the same models. If you don't find a lot of different numericals of the same model, you try to change the numericals, try to find a solution for it. So this way your speed increases. And obviously, like I said, the tests really help you a lot, because you'll have an idea about how much to do in how much time. Where can I start skipping questions, and when should I move on to the next thing? How much minimum time should I spend in each of the subjects? And this will vary from person to person, because each of us has our own strong subjects or weak subjects, like we say. Because that actually based on how you prepare so far. But now that you can't change a lot about where you're a little stronger or weaker, so that way by taking tests, you'll be able to set your own pattern, and there's nothing fixed. So I think tests will help you increase your speed. And once you write a lot of tests, you see what will happen is you'll also know, like while taking the tests, just make sure you take them as if it's your final BITSAT examination, right? Because for JE mains, I did not take a lot of mock tests. I skipped the mock test in my coaching center also, because I was so tense that I thought, like, if I take a mock test, I'll start getting demotivated. So to burst that myth when it comes to BITSAT, what I did is I took a lot of mock tests before the test. And I used to analyze each of the mock tests, and next mock test I try to rectify those mistakes. So if you keep doing this, and if you take each of the tests seriously, what eventually happens is, you'll be able to feel that the exam is also another, it becomes smoother for you during the actual examination. So yeah, the pressure part is, first thing is, try not to take pressure. I know it's an easy thing to say, that try not to take pressure, but as far as possible, just try to keep your calm. Just remember that this is another test. And the more calm you are, just remember just tell yourself that you have taken a lot of tests, and you have practiced sufficiently, and now you're going to calmly apply all the knowledge that you have from each of these tests, and not repeat the mistakes that you've done before. So this way, I'm pretty sure it'll help you relax a little bit. Obviously, do some relaxation before you start the examination, but to keep your calm, yeah, keep telling yourself that you have prepared sufficiently for the examination, so that you don't start getting tensed at any point of time. Yeah. So all right, so there's a question about English. So regarding when it comes to English, so what I'd like to tell you is BITSAT has a few discourses in English, which you will take any standard book, or even DoPrep's tests. They cover almost all the kinds of questions that English can have. So there'll be 2-3 questions which will ask you the synonyms and antonyms of words, right? So now, just like especially the tension part, I think comes when it comes to English, because a lot of people start getting tense that this English is not of my standard, not something that I can easily do. So my suggestion is, when it comes to English, there are a few standard questions that come. Like, there'll be one question, I think, on like rearranging the lines to make a sensible paragraph, right? And then there'll be a question on completing a paragraph, like what can be the last statement of this paragraph. Then similarly, so there'll be a paragraph kind of questions, where then they'll ask you the summary. What does this paragraph want to tell you? So on and so forth. And then there'll be some wordplay, obviously, which, like, in the sense that, if this is the word, what is the meaning of it? If this is the word, what is the antonym or the synonym of it? So mostly such kind of questions which ask you the meanings of the words and opposites of the words are really difficult. Like, so I realized that before I gave the test, because there are so many words in the English language which the meaning of which it is, will take a lot of time to prepare for, and so on and so forth. So I decided, via my preparation for with that examination itself, that if there are such questions, I'm going to leave them instantly without trying much. I mean, if it's blatantly visible that okay, so this is the meaning, I'd go for it. Otherwise, I just leave those questions. And when it comes to English, your basic comprehension skills from your board examinations will be sufficient to do it well. And people keep saying that English is very tough. So according to the test that I've given and what I've seen my friends give, the tough part comes because of these meanings and opposites that they ask, uh, which is which becomes really very difficult English, because randomly from the dictionary you pick a word and ask the meaning fit. So it's going to be tougher. So because of that, I think I feel people start calling it tough. Whereas if you focus on your comprehension abilities, how you read a paragraph and understand from it, how you rearrange to make a paragraph meaningful. So these are questions which you will be able to answer if you have your board examinations English right, be it 10th board examinations or be it 12th. So once you if you just have a look at the questions, see which kind of questions are really difficult, which there are a few questions because of which are not thinkable, which are not logical, which is why people feel that English is very difficult. So just have a look at a model question paper, so that I mean BITSAT doesn't release the question papers, but these model question papers are somewhere close to them. So once you have a look at it, just label of the set of questions, like I said, which you cannot comprehend about during the examination as tough. And other than that, the easier ones, please try to analyze them and see how you want to go about the answer. So this makes it easy for you. And let me tell you, there are a few questions which are really easy. So if you think that just because of a few questions the entire English is going to become tough for me, then you're at a loss, right? Just look at it the other way. I looked at it the other way because I understood that before giving my test, that this is why people think it is tough, so on and so forth. So I think yeah, it is a headache. So in the last 1 month, this is the best that you can do. Just try to recollect the knowledge that you have from your board examinations by just looking at all the kinds of questions. Say, like I said, like I mentioned about the paragraphs, and clearly don't remember, but most of it is comprehension, right? So the comprehension part of it, where you have to read, analyze, and understand, these are the kind of questions which are easy. The kind of questions where which I would categorize as, if you know it, you know it, are the kind of questions which are skippable, right? You can skip them. So that's my suggestion with regards to English. Okay, so the question is about if I can crack it with the knowledge of 12th English and logical reasoning. um I'd say no, because unlike, I don't know, I can't, I'm not really uh, a stronghold when it comes to mains, because I can't give you suggestions because I didn't do that well myself. But when it comes to BitSat, I think it's better you have a idea about the concepts of 11th as well. Now, I mean, like, you still have a month left, and you're telling me that you know 12th English and logical reasoning, something which other colleagues of yours or friends of yours are finding difficult. So just try to go through briefly. Like I said, it's all about the models. There are very few models. So like, look at the questions now that you've given JE main. You'll know what kind of questions will be asked in a competitive exam, how they want to test you. And when it comes to BitSet, the way they want to test you is they'll give you the information. You'll have to have knowledge of the chapter or the formula or the concept that goes behind solving each of these models. So the knowledge is there, the data they give, and then it comes to speed and your time management and how you were able to solve these questions. So just try to brush through the 11th concepts, and I'm pretty sure like, if you the fact that you're saying unclear is not, I'm more confident on you that you know better than what you think you do, because it's not so easy to forget if you've done it well, right? So just go through it, and just brush through it and then give tests, and you'll know if, okay, so these are the concepts which I still have a hang about, like, I still have a thought about, which I can I'll still be able to manage them. So those concepts, just focus on them. Completely leaving it, I'd say, will not be really good. You still have some time. Don't do it till the last minute. at least till some extent, just go through all the concepts, see the ones which you did really well while you were doing those chapters. And during the preparation, there are definitely stages where there will be chapters which you feel are very easy for me, or like a breeze for me. For me, permutation and combination probability was one of them for mathematics, so I thought I would leave that. But then once I went back and just had a look had a look at the concepts and the models that are there, kind of started getting easier for me. So don't completely leave it. Definitely, there are some really tough topics which one cannot understand so easily, and doing it in the last minute is not a suggestion that I'd give. But don't leave the entire syllabus of a grade, because that's 50% of your knowledge in 11th and 12th put together. So BITSAT really does not categorize it between 12th ka itna aayega or 11th ka itna aayega. So just make sure you do equal justice to both of them. Now that you're clear with English and logical reasoning, use this extra time to just revise the concepts of 11th, see which ones you're strong at, and pick them up and just finish them off well. And which you really think you don't want to revise, or are lazy to do so, then you can leave those. That's my suggestion. Just don't leave it completely. Messages about the voice and all that. Yeah, cool. So your percentile was 77%, and I am EWS, and now I want to prepare for bits.
So, Ramana, what Simran is asking is,
Yeah,
her percentile in J main was 77 percentile this time.
yeah.
Okay, so as per the percentile that she is getting, she's not going to get into NITs or any of the IITs. So she's asking her, does she can she prepare for bits in a month, as she's having a huge trouble in chemistry, and she has her J main second appearance test tomorrow. So can we answer her question first before taking the questions from any other participant?
Sure. So hi Simran. Right. So even my JE main score was really bad. I won't want to disclose that's how bad it is. So I did not get into any NITs or EITs, but I was, like I said, I kept my calm. I think that's where the turning factor was. I got really tensed about main, and um, which is why I ended up screwing it up. So don't worry about it. Just make sure you do one thing. Tomorrow's examination, when you give it with no worries at all, right? Like, don't take any sort of tension. I know it's getting late for you and you have an examination tomorrow, so I think that's why sir has asked me to answer your question first. So now that I mean, you've not done really that great with regards to the previous one. There have been 3 months, right? I think it's been a 3 months gap between the first round and the next JE main. So just make sure tomorrow's exam you give it with no worries or no expectations. uh, just make sure look at it as a normal board examination. Just think of it as applying your knowledge in a very scientific manner, right? Stop looking at it in a very competitive sense, because now that you've decided that you want to prepare well for the BITSAT, I'll tell you how to go about it. But with regards to tomorrow's JE main, just be carefree and kind of don't take too much tension. Just read the questions, pick the ones which you feel you know the answers for sure, and start doing them, right? 75 percentile is not really bad. I think if I'd convert my marks into a percentile, I'd be around 70, because I mean, just roughly telling you. So don't really get tensed about it. Thing is, tomorrow you have another chance. So tomorrow's session, try to yeah. So tomorrow's session, you just try to do it well. So with with no worries, and be carefree about it. So all the best for that. Now coming to your chemistry, you're having a huge trouble in chemistry for BITSAT examination. So I don't know, believe me or not, one of the subjects to easily cover up when it comes to BITSAT preparation is chemistry. I think this applies to JE main as well. This is because the NCRT book is probably the ultimate book that can teach you chemistry really well, right? So you have a month. Just pick out, just take the BITSAT syllabus in one sheet, like keep it with you, see what all BITSAT asks for in chemistry, and keep the both the NCRT books with you. I think there are four, right? Yeah, probably four. One, two, one, two. So what you do with them is just see what all concepts you feel till now through a JE preparation you're really confident in. Okay, so pick them out first, put them in a category, right? Then look at the chapters which, the first category will be questions which you feel like if I ask you right now, you'll be able to crack it, like you'll be able to do it because that much knowledge in chemistry you have. I'm pretty sure this will be small for you because you're telling you have a lot of trouble in chemistry. Now come to section. Let's take two more categories, right? The third category is this extreme category, which you really think even if you read a lot, you won't be able to answer questions. That let's just put it there. And the middle category, the second one, is the category where you feel if you read a little bit and get the theory into your head, which if you feel you can if you put some efforts, put a few chapters into those categories, whichever you feel that way. So just look at the syllabus, look at the chapters in the NCRT book, and I think it's as if I think when it comes to BITSAT, if I'm not wrong, it's ditto as it is. The index is as it is in the BITSAT syllabus when it comes to chemistry. So once you have a look at it, um, let the strong chapters be there. So these are the chapters which you know really well without doing more revision again, right? Leave those chapters there. Now my suggestion is for the assuming you have some, let's say, x days of time, for the first 1/4 of the days, just try to touch the C category questions, right? So these are things which you feel you completely do not know. Like, don't spend a lot of time. I mean, 1/4 is a lot. I'd say 1/8 of your time on that, and just try to see which of these subjects. Like, just have a quick glance at it. Your mind will keep telling you that you don't know this, you don't know this. Still, you just try to do those questions. I'm talking about only NCRT. You don't have to touch any other book, just NCRT and just the theory from NCRT, right? And when it comes to numericals, just the questions behind the textbook in the NCRT. I'm not talking about any other textbook. So after you do that, just try to convert a few of those which fall into the last category of you know nothing about them into the next category, wherein you feel if you read a little bit more about it and do a few more questions, you'll be able to answer some models. So let this be your first task, clearing some from those categories which you feel you completely have no knowledge about when it comes to topics in chemistry, and putting them into the second basket of a little preparation and solving a few problems will help you solve more problems when it comes to BITSAT examination. So do that with chemistry in the initial days. Don't spend a lot of time in it. Just quickly go through all the chapters which you put into that category and try to convert them into the middle category. Now, the main focus during the rest of your preparation should be the middle category, wherein you feel you'll be able to do these chapters once you read the theory thoroughly and solve a few questions. So let me tell you, don't have to move again. Emphasizing on the fact that you don't have to move away from any other book. Just BITSAT will do. I mean, sorry, just NCRT will be helpful for you. Um what you do is read these chapters which you've categorized as. Once you read them and solve a few problems, you'll be able to solve a few more problems which are out of the bounds of the NCRT textbook. So yeah, so once you do that, I think these are the categories you have to focus on most till you write your BITSAT examination. And yeah, like I said, so these focus on these and solve the questions that are behind the NCRT. And once you're done with the chapter, and NCRT is a very thin book, looking at, I'm pretty sure looking at all the tangents and whatnot, you'll find this thin enough. So try to go through them again and again, just the theory part and the questions behind it, and this should be more than helpful um, for you to solve the chemistry when it comes to BITSAT. Yeah, practice questions later on, the mock test. But before that, this is the preparatory stage I'm telling you, because you said you are having a huge trouble. So follow this system. This will be really helpful. I did this too for chemistry, and I used NCRT itself, and it helped me a lot. Though a lot of things fell in the B category. So yeah, uh, try to do this. I hope I answer your question. This is the strategy I followed. Right. So my so the question is, which bits am I from and what's my branch? So I'm pursuing a dual major, the first degree being MSc Economics in BITS Hyderabad campus, and I'll be choosing my engineering degree after at the end of this semester. That's after 2 semesters. I hope that answers the question. Are you the only one in MSc Economics?
Sorry to interrupt, Prabha. So, like you mentioned just now, that you will be choosing your engineering field after 1 year. So how is it different from the IITs and the NITs and the other engineering colleges that is present in India?
Okay, so right. So when it comes to bits, I think the main factor which you can ask anybody will answer, any BITSian or any professor here will tell you, is that there is a lot of flexibility, right? So we do not have an attendance policy. Your attendance in your latches or lectures or tutorials is not compulsory. You have the freedom and liberty to sit in your room, learn what you think you're good at, and improve at it. And you can also choose courses from across all the departments. Now say I'm in the economics department, economics and finance department, as I've taken MSc economics. I can choose a course from the humanities and social sciences department. I can do an introductory course in psychology. I can do a course in chemistry. I can do a minors in finance. So this way, I think bits is different when it comes with regards to other institutions. And like I said, the prestige of all the institutions, I think I said this in the previous webinar also, I feel after coming here is because of the peer group that you have and the alumni network that is there, which is common to both IITs and bits. Now IIT is a government institute which will be funded a lot, which is why people prefer that over this. And yeah, the major part of it is academic flexibility, right? You at any point of time you feel this is something interesting for me, you can take that course, and that course will be added into your credits. So like you'll have a certain number of courses to finish before you graduate, and you can take any course electives. These are called humanities electives or disciplinary electives, and you can add them into your um, scorecard or credits to graduate. So this way there's a lot of flexibility. So you can do a lot of cross disciplinary, interdisciplinary work. Economic, you can mix economics with computer science, and such flexibilities are possible. And the 0% attendance just adds to it, because you see, at any point of time, if I feel some course is not worth my time, I can sit in my room and do what I feel is more worthwhile. So that's the difference. um yeah, I'll have think. So I'm just looking at what questions to answer. Yeah, so my score, I think one of you has asked. My score was 289, and yeah, so I got MSc Economics in the last but one fifth iteration. I got MSc Economics. How to score more in less time? Again, simple answer to this is practice more tests. Practice more questions, practice more tests. How will questions help you? They will just make sure that the algorithms, I'm using the word algorithms in the sense that this is nothing but a logic to the solution, another word for logic to the solution. And do take a lot of DoPrep tests, right? So that is something I can tell you. I'll take this question. I think Sir has just sent me. uh, can I crack BITSAT in 15 days with only 12th knowledge? Can I, and can I boost my confidence without stress? Right. So, talking about without stress, that's something which depends on you as a person. But as a person who's gone through that stage, I can tell you that if you do not want to take a lot of stress, just make sure you revise concepts and be strong in what you are strong already. Don't try to, I mean, saying now that you're saying you have only 15 days, don't try to go into uncharted territories or topics which you've not covered before, and try to strengthen the topics which you already know. So once you do this, uh, just tell yourself that these are the topics I know. So when you give a test, I think you have 15 days, so try to give at least 5 tests. If because if you give all the 15 tests that DoPrep offers, what will happen is you might start getting tense. So just a suggestion is that give less number of tests, but analyze that test more. And after each test, just make sure that whatever concepts you're good at with only 12th knowledge, make sure that you'll be able to do them, like make sure you're able to answer all of them, right? And for the rest of the questions, just whichever questions you did not get right, or the concepts you did not get right, go through all the concepts. So you can approach it from this strategy as well, because You can either go from theory, like reading all the chapters once and then giving the test, or give the test with the existing knowledge, like with no knowledge at all, and then try to do the chapters in the test which are not doing really that great. So I think that way you can boost your confidence without stress, because you keep telling yourself that this is the knowledge that I have, and I'm able to convert my knowledge into the examination, right? So I mean, not I mean, like, I must have already said that covering the entire syllabus will give you high chances of cracking BITSAT. However, I might also mention that though this is not always the case, but if you're able to convert the knowledge that you have into problems, that is, if there is a high efficiency of utilizing your knowledge and cracking the questions, that will also help, because it's a test for 450 marks. There are bonus questions as well. So scoring 300 plus, 350 plus, 390, this 390 will put you in good, in a good college with a good in a good campus with a good degree. So when you're looking at such questions, looking at such data, what you can analyze is, once if you're able to do everything that you existingly know really well, you'll be able to crack the minimum score, right? Definitely knowing everything and being able to convert, that is what will put you away, put you above the rest of the candidates who are taking this test. But once you take the test, the mock test, that is, just review the parts that you feel you are really weak at and try to cover up on them. So this way, at least you're still adding to the knowledge, the baggage of knowledge that you have. And I've already said this when somebody said he doesn't have an idea about 11th syllabus. I'm saying this again, that is something you feel because of the position that you are in. But let me be very honest, you won't forget everything of it, right? So just try to give it without any such don't tell your mind again and again that I do not know 11th syllabus, I do not know 11th syllabus. Without knowing 11th syllabus, you wouldn't have written the board examinations, however rote memory it was, how much ever you buttified or whatever you call it. So I'm pretty sure the knowledge, most of it wouldn't have leave you. Definitely some the concepts which you might not have been thorough would have, you would have lost touch with regards to them. Just try to cover these things using the tests. So I mean, especially for you, because you're telling you don't want to lose your confidence, so don't go reading about everything, because that way you'll feel there's a lot to cover and you start coming to stress. Be confident that whatever syllabus you're able to do questions when it comes to that syllabus. This way you'll boost your the efficiency of the conversion rate of the concept knowledge into questions, and try to cover the concepts in the questions which you're not able to answer completely. So this way I think you can, especially with regards to this particular question, that with only 12th knowledge and how can I boost my confidence without stress, this will be my answer, right? I need to start BITSAT preparation now. I dropped out of the JE Preparation Institute. Please guide for bits. So hi Dhruv. Uh, a new place. I think what is the best book for mathematics for BITSAT? I've already answered this question, so just go about it. Um, yeah, and so yeah, regarding dropping from the JE Prep Institute, I mean, you've not really mentioned in detail when you've done it. So whatever it is, what I'd say is, when it comes to BITSAT, I've already said this, I'm saying this again. The knowledge that you have for your board examinations, converting them into questions, excuse me, by solving a lot of models is what will help you do well in the BITSAT examination, because it's all about models and how well you are able to solve in a limited period of time the questions that are asked in the examination. So though you've dropped out, just have a look at the syllabus. You see, I think I know I was such a kind of person wherein, like, if I look at the syllabus and, like, just the syllabus, not the book, and keep telling myself that I know this chapter, I'll be able to solve a question, that would boost my confidence, because 2 sheets of paper would, like, well, I was like, okay, if I know these 2 sheets of paper in my mind, like, that was kind of like a mind mapping for me. I'll be able to solve all the questions that arise in the examination. So that way I used to go about it. Whatever your boost for preparation is. So once you feel you have sufficient theoretical knowledge, start going into the questions, right? Because right now is the time to take a lot of tests and try to analyze your preparation level, right? Don't take don't take too much stress about it, like how where you stand or the test score. It might not, it might not even be anywhere close to the test score that you're taking. There'll be variations, because there'll be a slight variation in difficulty, the atmosphere that you're sitting in, so on and so forth. There'll be a lot of factors. However, what you have to look from a test is how you have gone about answering it, what the pattern you followed, how much time you have given to each kind of question and each chapter or each theory part, and what is the best method for me to follow, like which order should I go in. So these are the kind of things you should start figuring out right now, because I'm pretty sure after giving JE you guys would have figured out that other than just the knowledge that you have, the test taking strategy is also very very crucial, which which will definitely, it has a lot of gap that it leaves when it comes to the other candidates who are prepared well for in terms of test taking strategy as well. Because after you go back home and you look at the paper and discuss with your friends, and it'll be like, oh, this question was so easy, why didn't I do it in test? So that test taking strategy comes from taking a lot of tests and trying to I think I'd call it forming your own recipe, right? So once you get your recipe, you will be able to cook the test well. So to form the recipe, try to take a lot of tests. And at this point of time, especially pointing towards this question, this is my suggestion that just even though you have dropped out of JE, the board exam knowledge is enough. Just brush through the concepts that you know really well, and I think you can also categorize, like I think I suggested Simran to do so. So after you do that, just start taking tests and start analyzing them, start preparing your own recipe, so that when you go to the examination, you'll be test taking ready, like not just knowledge wise but also with regards to how you should approach the test. um okay, there's a lot of questions, so I just give me some time. Okay, I think there's a question on organic chemistry questions. So Bharati Soni, when it comes to organic chemistry, the whole key is about basically looking at it like mathematics, right? Like, just know which reagent does what, and try to put them in like 2-3 pages, each chapter in 2-3 pages. You see, what I'm saying is try to form a mind map or a table which just gives you the whole glance of the chapters that are there in the organic chemistry part, right? Because it's all about how the mechanism goes about. And I think, yeah, so I think that way practice, try to first summarize all the organic parts. You will find these online. These, I think the term they use for them is cheat sheets. So try to look for organic chemistry cheat sheets, or you make your own organic chemistry. Just look at a bunch of questions. I've told you the standard book being NCRT. So just or previous years papers which are provided to you. Just look at what kind of questions are asked. So let's say, what is the reagent used here, what is the reagent used here. So that way you can categorize each into a kind of a reaction, and then just write down the reagents and remember these as logics. Look at it in a way that you're solving a problem of putting a reagent and then converting this reactants into a so and so product. So that way, look at it that way. I think that might help you with regards to organic chemistry. I was not really that great at chemistry. I was really at mathematics. So with regards to organic chemistry, that is what I did. I try to cheat my brain into knowing, telling my brain that this is all that you need to know, and trying to crack the questions using that knowledge. So that's my suggestion for last minute. Just try to create a cheat sheet and try to answer these questions. Is there a difference between Pilani, Goa, and Hyderabad? Yes, they're differently located in terms of geography. Jokin, though there's no difference when it comes to the degree, the course, the only difference will be obviously your peer group and the professors that are teaching, because they can't teach in all the three campuses. But when it comes to the academic, I think, what should I call it? The academic system, all the three are same. They fall under what's called BITS Pilani University. So all the three, when it comes to the academic system, are just the same. So the only difference will be in the peer group and the professors that are teaching there. And something which is immaterial for you right now is placements, but a lot of people consider that. But yeah, so that'll be different because the companies which would like to visit a university will depend. If a company like the graduates that they got from say Goa campus, they'll like to go, they'll like to recruit more members from Goa campus. That's a different story altogether. But with regards to the academic system, there's no difference between the three campuses, right? So basically what you're saying is it doesn't matter what course I get, I can get in, I can just pick something else. Yeah, so looks like we're running kind of short on time, so I'll move quickly. um, so it's not that easy. New place, no, nice name, I think you're a gamer or whatever. The thing is, you just can't, you well, that's what people think, that you come into mm, the hostel, a dual degree course, and then pick whatever you want. It's all based on relative grading. So all the science degree guys who are competing for an engineering degree will be given a preference. Like the highest, the one with the highest grade will be given more preference, and he'll be able to choose his first preference. So internally there is a lot of difference. I think Cora is the best person to answer this question for you. There's a very in detail explanation about dual degree at BITS. So just Google this, Google for dual degree at BITS, and you'll be able to get the answer for it. Right. The hostel facilities are really amazing. I'm studying in my hostel right now. So if that helps, but yeah, they're really amazing. There's no problem at all. How did you prepare in the last 40 days? Again, I just went through, I put the syllabus paper, I took a printout of my BITSAT syllabus, um, covered, like every day I look at, tick or look at each of the questions. Tell myself that okay, this is the theory in this side heading, this is the formula for this side heading, and try to remember all the basic models that I did, like all the problems that I did. And I do this daily for each of the subjects in parts. And when I end the penultimate days, I do this or the entire chapter in once, and I would take tests. This is one part of it, and the other part of it is taking tests so that I understand, I have my own recipe. With regards to the cutoff, it really varies year by year. It's based on the students that come along with you. So telling a person that you'll get CSE or EC or triple E is completely, it's not something that you have to look into. Just try to score as much as possible. That's what I'd say. Don't have a max target or minimum target. How to manage time during examination? Many questions, including English and logical reasoning. Again, the answer is take a lot of tests, form your own recipe. So this way you'll be able to manage time. Like by recipe, I mean just take 2-3 tests. You'll know in when you follow which pattern you're able to score more, in which pattern you're able to optimize. Right. So that way you'll know what to do. Is doing 12 extra questions in BITSAT beneficial? Now, if you're aiming for really high marks, and if you're really confident that you've done most of the questions well, I'd say guessing 10 to 15 questions and then proceeding for the 12 questions is not a gamble. That's something you can do. But if there are more than 20 questions that you have left, in the sense that you feel you do not know the right answer to, then it's sort of a gamble. I mean, uh, all those guesses might be right or might not be right. So I'd say put the cap as 15. If you leave 15 questions, try to solve them once more. And if you feel you'll be getting good answers, you can make intelligent guesses for majority of them, then you can proceed for the extra questions. How to prepare for regardless or not prepared for JE? Regardless if you prepared for JE or not, use your board exam knowledge, NCRT, go through all the theory again, go through all the NCRT ke piche wale questions, and start doing test papers. Can you change your course in bits? Yes, there's a availability for that. Use Quora for this because there's a detailed answer. There are a lot of terms and conditions. Um, how can I concentrate on studies from PUBG? Dude, there's a very simple answer. Give your smartphone to your parents. If you go for coaching and you need to communicate, Nokia 3310 is released again. Use that and you can start doing that. Right? So just put your phone away. That's the best solution.
So I suggested Ramana that you at least devote 2 hours of time to PUBG, and the remaining amount time you should devote to your BitSat preparation. So rather than taking away the phone, you can actually play the game and also do the BitSat preparation, isn't it?
So I'm playing the devil's advocate here. I'm being as devilish as possible. So if you think you can give it away for your own betterment, that's fine. But yeah, like sir said, that is a very good just read. Make sure like you can do this, right? There's a system which is suggested by Americans in terms of study is that you keep incentivizing your study. So every time you study a part of it, you keep giving yourself reward. So have some target. After you study that, play 2 games of PUBG, close it, study a little bit more, and play. So that way, there's benefit on both sides. That's a really good solution as well. But obviously, the optimal ideal solution is throwing your phone away for some time. Can we change your course to mechanic to CSE? Then what do we have to do? Yes, you can do that. For that, your username is absolutely true, holds true. You have to motivate yourself to get the highest possible grade in the entire batch so that the administration will then offer you the chance. Like I said, you can Quora this, but yeah, this in brief, it is what I want to say is if you want to change like that way, you will have to score the maximum when it comes to your batch, right? अगर मैं अब से प्रिपेयर करूँ तो कैसे करूँ? If I prepare from now, it's okay. I understand Hindi. It's not a problem. Thanks for the translation though. So yeah, 30 to 35 to 40 days. Again, here's my suggestion when it comes to my side. Let's divide into two parts. BITSAT is all about models and how you cover how fast you're able to solve questions with your existing knowledge, right? So that if one part is that, the other part is you knowing the theory and concepts of the syllabus of BITSAT examination and the formula that go along with each of these models. So the formula connect the models. So this is the connect that you have for this part. Do try to do NCRT and try to read through the NCRT textbook for the theory part, underline what you feel the key concepts so that you can come back only to the key concepts, and learn all the formula that go into the standard models. Now try to on the other hand, try to judge what the standard models are. You must be having your coaching material or any other material for that matter. I think DoPrep also has their own material with regards to coach with regards to the this thing. So with regards to the preparation, so these are some standard models which have been observed from students. Students keep giving feedback, so the sub publishers keep doing that. So publishers keep publishing all the questions that the students give back. These are some standard models, and these standard models are there in all of the books already. So that way you can just you'll know what kind of questions to solve, and once you know the models and the formulae, I think your preparation is almost done. And spend a major part of it giving tests and trying to analyze where you stand. That's the best thing you can do in the last few days. Once you're thorough with the theory, read through NCRT and the formulas that go into making each of the models in each of the three subjects, right? Cover all the in English. Like I said, try to do your comprehension well. Just try to comprehend about how this paragraph can go about. Just it's simple English. Let me be very honest with you. There are definitely, I'm not lying to you. I'm not telling you it's not tough. It is tagged as tough because there are few very tough questions, which is why people feel entire English is tough. However, I feel that's not the truth. It's my personal opinion. So that's the thing. And now what was I saying? Right. And the final part is after you do all of these models, now have your own recipe by taking a lot of tests. This part really helps a lot. Whatever test series you're applying for, where you could sit at home or do it alternate days, do it once in 3 days. Take a test, analyze it well, see where you're going wrong, see which are your weak points, focus on them, and make sure you don't repeat the same mistakes in the next examination. That way, you keep doing that. Try different patterns: physics first, chemistry first, English and logical reasoning I'll finish first, and then put it away aside so that I can focus on what I know really well. Mathematics is my strong subject, so I'll do it first and then do the rest of them. So that way, once you do these tests, you'll have a recipe of your own, which you can easily implement in the examination. That will help you a lot, because in the examination you won't be like suddenly you go sit, this is completely different from my JEE mains examinations. I gave so many JEE main tests and advanced. So that way you'll be able to have an analysis. Yeah, the frequency, I think the sir has answered correctly. It's like I said, at least 2 in a week, so that, like I said, to take a test in once in 3 days, that would mean 2 in a week approximately. And then yeah, 3 a week when it comes to the final days. That is once every alternate day. So that's exactly what I suggested. Just put it in a different way. So that's what I recommend as well. And when it comes to the final day, just make sure you go through all the previous tests. Have write it down, write the feedback, or like DoPrep will give you the feedback online anyways. So just go through all the mistakes that you made and make sure you try not to repeat them again. So are there any questions, any further questions? I think we have 4 more minutes, so I'll just any final questions.
So, if there are any other questions, everybody kindly fill in the form that I have the link has been shared on the chat window. Okay, so yeah, Ramana Ragved wants to know how many did you have in JEE?
Oh, that is CIA top secret, dude. I can't tell you that.
Yeah. So, Ragved, it does not matter how much you score in JEE, right?
So what I'll tell you is I think I got somewhere around 25,000 to 30,000 rank. So yeah, I mean if that, well, that might disappoint you as well, which is why I'm not telling you that. So yeah, keep yourself motivated. BITSAT is completely different, like I said, because it tests your speed and your problem solving ability in a given point of time. Something which is more, which I feel is more a good testing ability than JEE main bid. Well, now that I'm in bits, I'll keep mocking JEE, but yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, no, I did my BTech from IIT Kanpur, and let me just tell you all the BITS campus and the BITS infrastructure, as well as the curriculum design and the courses that are offered, they are the best in the country, and they are designed keeping in mind the changing times. And also they keep the well-being of the student in mind also, and as to what the industry needs actually from the students who are graduating from BITS. So you have a thumbs up sign from me, Ramana.
Yeah.
And anybody who wants to have a talk with us personally on one-to-one, please go to that link and provide your phone numbers. I am again reposting that link on the chat window just in case you missed it. And we'll get back to you in a couple days' time. And a very big thank you to Ramana for sparing so much precious time for you all. And it was a very energetic session. Let me tell you, I enjoyed it, and I hope everybody did. Thanks a lot. And you are doing a
Yeah,
great
thank you.
job, Ramana, by
Yeah,
motivating
thank
all the
you,
students.
guys. So I'm happy that I motivated you. So yeah, you can like Sir said, you can reach to all of the mentors, not just me. I think there are a couple of other friends who have taken DoPrep along with me who are also doing the webinar series. So you can reach out to us through DoPrep. We'll be ready to answer your questions, any other personal queries that you have. It's always been a pleasure talking to you guys through DoPrep. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity again. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, everybody. So I'm going offline.